Hey guys, today with the big over topic, what the channel is actually about. The serious man in today's society, the red pill, and why I do not always mention these two concepts directly. If you watch my videos, this is a common thread that runs completely through, and I have long thought about where I can and should start it all, and when I had made myself so crazy with it, I have stiffened more and more on it to have to steer this in a certain direction. To steer you herewith in a certain direction. Until I was asked by a friend, who seemed to have noticed that something was going through my head, why should you develop in a certain direction, isn't that up to you? And then I was faced with the decision to agree with her or to tell her, if you don't want to be a totally effeminate pussy who never gets what she wants, yes, you have to. And you know what I decided? I have given her right, because basically the way of the serious man is not one that you have to go. An approach that I think must first be understood and respected before you start to pass on this knowledge. I don't convert people here, I don't stand on a box and call people out of the crowd who don't give a shit what I have to say. I understand that even without this knowledge you can live a life that you think is okay and in which you are not too unhappy. From time to time there may be a blow of fate, but you can always get up again. Then you are at your felt 80-90th%. It could be better, it could be worse. But you are happy most of the time anyway, and that is the most important thing. To strive for more is inevitable for us only in that case when we fall and cannot get up again directly by our own strength. When our existence and our self-image are threatened or even destroyed. It is laudable to want more for oneself even before that, but the reason that not every person in the world has this attitude is mainly because there is a set social standard and most are already satisfied with reaching it or living just above it. There is no preventive look to make oneself the best possible self. There is no questioning or trying to understand certain contexts. It is lived. From day to day. Maybe with a goal that is a few years in the future, which is then usually limited to pay off the family home and to be able to enjoy the pension. If you ever get there, or if the family has split up by then, and if the ex-wife lives in the house for which you have to pay for another 15 years with her new boyfriend, well, you don't know. So to come back to the question, do you have to change or develop in a certain direction that I can give you here? No. Clearly. None of you listening to this post have to do anything, and very few of you who haven't already been emotionally down in life will see the real need to do that. That is what I find on the one hand a pity, because you could learn so much for yourself and prevent in later years exactly such a crap. But I know it. I was also one of those who have resolved to New Year's Eve what and mid/end of January had already forgotten again. But of course I would like to share this impulse with you, whether it brings you something now, or you remember it later when something like this happens. Most of the time that's exactly what we are missing. To see the way out of the mess. That's why I'm starting at the point of my hardest separation, and I see so many of you in the same situation. But now enough of my concerns not to want to force this knowledge on you. At this point I think there are only those of you who have a serious interest to know what the principle of the serious man and the red pill is all about. And that's where it starts in my eyes, when you read about the principle of the red pill. Short explanation: look at the movie Matrix. At a certain point Morpheus offers Neo 2 pills. The blue pill, which makes him forget the encounter and continue to live as before in the belief that the world is just the way it is, and the red pill, which shows him that the matrix and world around us is only a construct and brings him into reality. So the red pill stands for the knowledge and understanding of commitment, attraction, love, the subtleties and differences between man and woman, and especially how man can use this fact for himself to live up to his true potential and get what he wants in most situations. And the blue pill stands bluntly for continuing to believe that someday the one woman will come along who fits you and loves you as you are and will grow old with you as long as you read her every wish from her eyes. So why don't I use the comparison of the red pill more often when it explains so much, and otherwise you actually talk around this togetherness? I think that it would bring this knowledge completely to the point. However, just enter it in Google. When I heard about the almost ideology, I didn't bother to go a bit deeper and deal with it more, because coaches like Corey Wayne have a very entertaining way to explain it all. But especially in Germany, a lot of people made an effort to present this attitude as misogynistic and whatever else. And more than one who calls himself Red Pill on the internet, makes every effort to live up to this reputation. I can absolutely not reconcile this with my attitude. In my eyes, the Red Pill is a win-win situation for men and women. Because serious men, according to my definition, always behave with integrity and follow their dreams and desires. They are no assholes, no extremists, do not run after a woman whose interest is not as high as their own in them, and manage to offer women who are good to them and do them good a long-term relationship that really lasts. I do not know where you could put misogyny in the picture, but I personally know how what message and experience can be perceived if you meet them directly with conspiracy theories and negativity afflicted, and I would like to spare new listeners first of all, so they can make their own picture of the whole thing. Maybe from now on I'll deviate from that a bit and call it that more often. I just decided that I've been babbling again for so long that I'm going to fully explain the principle of being a serious man in the next video and not in this one, and call the post here, The Red Pill, instead. Can write me times in the comments what you think of my previous approach to keep the videos sorted by topics and to the point as short as possible. I actually wanted to make this my unique selling point, because I'm used to the exact opposite in the scene. However, you can see what happens when I just start talking. So the Red Pill. Once you've really swallowed it, there's no turning back, and you need really drastic experiences to really open up to it. It takes, even if you have recognized the reality for yourself, a lot of work, time and dedication to get rid of your blue pill programming. The knowledge alone is not enough. You see that at the latest when you should meet again with an ex and are not prepared for it. You fall directly into old thinking patterns because body and mind are not used to act in a different way. You don't train new behavior if you don't consider it absolutely essential, and habits are formed by constant repetition. The best advice in the world is useless if you don't put it into practice. Things like the 4-Hour Week by Timothy Ferriss or Cashflow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. I read those when I was 23. Did I put it into practice? For a week, because I was more than satisfied with my steady job. After that, I gradually forgot about it. If the principle of the Red Pill appeals to you, then create the circumstances that you need to be able to use the knowledge. I'm not saying you have to put yourself in danger of losing everything you care about, but create circumstances that force you to get out of your comfort zone and get your ass off the couch. Look at what and who you want to become. And don't let me tell you who that has to be. Deep inside you know who you are. What you can do, what you enjoy, and what the hell you don't want to do. This is who you really are, and you are trying to suppress this guy because of external circumstances. Whether it's family, friends who don't accept you as you are, the norm of society. Honestly, you drop the mask you wear all day long only when you arrive at your apartment, close the door behind you, and you are alone for a short moment. Before that, fake smiles, insignificant conversations with people who are not interested in you and for whom you are not interested. Exception always excluded. But you consider it normal. How often do I hear, "That's the way it is, you have to go through it, I had to go through it too." Yes, it's your own fault if you didn't open your mouth and permanently did things that didn't fulfill you inside. Life is sometimes not easy, that's true, but if you don't work towards changing these circumstances yourself, then it will go on, because without this work from and on you it will be nothing. No one will give you anything, you have to recognize and take opportunities yourself. And if you give up because what you wanted to achieve didn't work out and you join the ranks of the other people who think home is their safe space where they can be themselves and nowhere else, yes, then you are in the right place, because what I am trying to demonstrate to you with my own journey is that you can get from the lowest point to your highest possible point and define it higher and higher once you have arrived there. In every part of your life. Be it health, work, hobby, sports, society, and everything that these pillars bring with them. Above all, happiness and fulfillment and byproducts that arise in the process, such as money and love. I usually pick you up at your lowest possible point. I start with people who are in the worst possible position, a breakup they can't get over. We still, in spite of our advanced society, associate mortal fear with losing the person most important to us. That and nothing else is it. There is no worse feeling in this world in my opinion, and someone who goes through that is 100% willing to put all remaining energy into this journey to the best possible self. They will eventually have an inner security and self-image that others can only dream of. But of course you don't have to fall so deep for that now to be able to achieve and make something out of yourself. It just makes it easier for me personally to get through to these people and make them more receptive to do what it takes to reach their goal. If I now tell them directly, the red pill is your salvation, I would feel like certain groups who ring your doorbell and want to talk to you about God, and I see it again and again at no contact. I say this is a way that can work. Then they Google it, and in the end they make some nonsense out of the internet called no contact because they think they have found the easiest way, but I can't stand for it for the life of me, but rather clap my hand in my face when I hear about it. I try to avoid that by explaining to you what makes sense in my opinion, and not getting out the red pill flag and waving it around as if it were the general, universal solution and everyone would give you the same food for thought when it comes to it. So, a lot of talk about why it's important for me to pass on my message and opinion to you as that too, and not necessarily just as red pill. Take care, and until the next video, in which I of course more on the subject of serious man in today's society.